We are going to dive right into the program today because we have both a short and a long program. So I want to introduce you to John Pohl. He is today's day chair. And one of my favorite things about getting to know the day chairs is getting to know the day chairs. So John grew up overseas in Sicily, Germany, Tunisia, Saudi Arabia, and Haiti. I know. After boarding school in Switzerland, he got his degree in geology from Dickinson College and then his MBA from Seattle University. He worked for Arms Control Disarmament Agency in Switzerland and then moved to Seattle. His manufacturing career spanned a steel mill, the marine industry, high-tech windows and doors. He then started his own company that was focused on expert systems for manufacturing and sales. So a very interesting guy. He now runs Triple Creek Development, which manages real estate and family businesses. So one of the charming things I learned is that he is still as smitten with his wife as he was 35 years ago when they married. They have 4 children and 2 grandchildren. And if you ride the bus from either the University of Washington or Husky Stadium, there is photography in those bus stops that is John's. He was selected to display his art in those locations. So pretty cool guy we got here. Thanks, John.
So generally this is welcome, but I guess today it's welcome to class. And more importantly, there's going to be a field trip that's going on over here, so please make sure you pay attention. So what I'd like to say is, first, imagine a Steven Spielberg film, Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park rolled into one. Think Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant and Indiana Jones at the same time. Except today, it's Indiana Julie and Brody. Julie Stein is a prominent archaeologist and executive director of the Washington State Museum of Natural History and Culture, the Burke. Brody Hovatter is working with Jack Horner and Dr. Greg Wilson, founder of the Diggs School at the University of Washington, and is the assistant director of the Discovery in Geosciences School, the keeper of ancient treasures and dinosaurs, both on the same stage. Today's program is not just about the Discovery in Geosciences, or also known as the Diggs School and the Burke Museum. It's about programs that help our K-12 teachers inspire students with real science in the classroom. It's also about training our graduates with relevant critical thinking skills, preserving our history and culture, and contributing to critical research worldwide. On October 1st, 2013, the state of Washington adopted the Next Generation Science Standards. In short, teachers are being told K-12 science education should reflect the interconnected nature of science as it is practiced and experienced in the real world. This is a radically new approach with thousands and challenging work being asked of teachers. With thousands of teachers in our school system, the task is not to replace or bypass the teachers we have, but to support them. Give them the tools to address this task. Expose them to real experiences in science and engineering practices. So how do you do this? The DIG program provides teachers and their students hands-on real-world practices alongside research scientists in Hell Creek, Montana, and supports them throughout the year. I visited the appropriately named Hell Creek twice. Today, unlike the teachers, we can get a glimpse of what they go through without working for 12 hours in 110-degree weather. Which brings us to the long program, Washington's Old Museum, soon to become Washington's newest museum. If you think it's crowded here, you should see the old museum. Let me introduce Indiana Julie. I'm not sure Julie has slid down mountaintops or narrowly escaped whirling blades hiding untold treasures, but I'm sure she has her share of harrowing experiences. Julie Stein was appointed executive director of the Burke in 2005. She previously served as the museum's curator of archaeology, and Julie also remains a professor in the Department of Anthropology at the University of Washington. About the program, Washington's oldest museum. The very words old and museum connotes dusty glass cases with fine print. Not very exciting, but this is not the Burke. Our state museum is a vibrant, dynamic research institute that supports thousands of scientists, archaeologists, anthropologists, and students worldwide, as well as inspiring local visitors. But much of this work goes on behind closed doors. This is about to change. With Julie's vision and guidance, you can start to think about night at the museum, where everything comes alive. Today, the Seattle Rotary, number 4, is experiencing for the very first time a new adventure. The museum is coming to life as we speak. It's being turned inside out. They have, for the first time, brought the museum out from behind the scenes. You can begin your visit here. The museum is more than a one-time collection of artifacts. They're bringing in collections from the field every day. They curate them, they research, and they educate. And now it's live and in person, and it's coming out from behind. So Rotary, this is the first time the museum has gone beyond its doors to meet with you. I'll let Brody and Julie tell you the story. I hope you enjoy it and get a chance to experience it. And now please welcome Brody Hovatter, Assistant Director of the Dig Field School.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Rotarians. I am really excited to be here today and talk about our program, the Dig Field School. I also want to talk a little bit about fossils. I want to talk about science. I want to talk about education. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So how many people out there like dinosaurs? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, pretty much everybody. How many people have kids or grandkids that like dinosaurs, right? So dinosaurs are pretty cool, and dinosaurs are a great way to get kids interested in science. It's hard to explain exactly what's so cool about dinosaurs and about paleontology, but I mean, I know as a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist. I'm sure a few of you out there may have wanted to be one as well. And if you stick with me through this presentation, you might get to be one for the rest of the day. So a lot's going on in science classrooms around the U.S. As John mentioned earlier, many states are adopting the Next Generation Science Standards, or NGSSs for short. And students, in addition to this, are starting to lose interest in science. I mean, how many people have kids who come home and say, you know what, I'm not going to go out Friday night, I'm going to study my chemistry homework, or I'm going to do my math homework, turn off the Seahawks game, I don't want to interfere with my physics stuff. So teachers are looking for ways to inspire kids about science and get them to learn not just through memorizing facts, but through inquiry and evidence-based learning methods. So our program addresses this issue by providing teachers with a hands-on, research-based experience that immerses them in real science outside of the classroom. Our participants actually become the students and go through the learning process themselves. They then take this experience and what they've learned about teaching science back into their classrooms. So how exactly do we do this? Well, we take our teachers to northeastern Montana. Does anybody know what northeastern Montana is famous for? Okay, a few different things. One of them is dinosaurs. So northeastern Montana is one of the few places on Earth that preserves dinosaur fossils from just before and after the mass extinction that kills them off. So in addition to dinosaurs, there's lots of other things like ancient mammals, crocodiles, fish, lizards, amphibians, all sorts of really cool stuff. So just to sort of orient you, this is where we're located out in Montana. So we find fossils from things like this guy, T-Rex. You've probably seen this before, I'm assuming, and Triceratops as well. Actually, the very first T-Rex specimen ever discovered was found not too far from where we work, way back in 1905. So it's a pretty cool place to go and see some spectacular sights. It's also important scientifically. So in addition to those types of dinosaurs, we find duck-billed dinosaurs. You can see the actual skeleton of one of those guys up in the upper right-hand corner with our dig teachers getting a quick lesson on its life history. So these things are 67 million years old, and the teachers are actually interacting with these dinosaurs, digging them up themselves, and getting to tell their students about it. We've also, here's the artistic rendition of what this thing looked like for those of you who aren't dinosaur experts. We've also found dinosaurs like Thescelosaurus. You can actually also see a life-size version of this block of bone that we have outside of the door. So it's a pretty spectacular thing to see, and like I said, the teachers get to work with this stuff firsthand. We also find, I mentioned this earlier, Triceratops skeletons, and we find jaws from ancient crocodiles and other types of creatures. So this is a pretty unique experience for teachers and for us. And I mean, how many people can say that they got to dig up a dinosaur? So not very many, but if you check out our booth later, you might be able to see one yourself. So that's my plug there. Okay, so our program so far has served 110 teachers across 14 different states, and we're continuing to grow. And our goal is to become more effective at providing teachers with the help and support they need to foster a better learning environment in their classrooms and make science cool again for kids. So I'll briefly talk about what the teachers get to do while they're out there with us. They spend 4 days in Montana, like I said. The first 2 days are spent learning about the context of our research area, why it's important scientifically, and so on. The teachers then get to find their own fossils. So you can see pictured here teachers working on collecting and identifying some of the smaller fossil mammals and other animals that I mentioned earlier. And you can also see them in the right bottom corner digging up a baby Triceratops dinosaur. So the teachers get their hands dirty, they do the work. They don't just sit back and read about it in a textbook, they are doing the actual science themselves. The third day, the teachers team together and take on a group project. The group project focuses on inquiry-based learning, evidence-based teaching versus just memorization. The teachers then talk about what they've learned with each other and through their day project with the rest of the participants at our camp. And the fourth day of the program is where we sort of bring everything together. So the fourth day is our education day. The teachers spend the entire day workshopping with each other, developing lesson plans, talking about how to adopt the next generation science standards into their classrooms. They network, they mentor one another, and talk about how to create a better environment for their students and for teachers. So even though the teachers are only with us for 4 days, the dig experience does not end once they leave Montana. Our program's designed to stay with teachers for the rest of their career and help them continue to grow in their teaching methods and become more effective in teaching science. So one of the ways we do this is through our dig box. So the dig box is essentially fossils, paleontology, in Montana in your classroom. So we supply teachers with interactive lesson plans that include real fossils, real rocks, things that the kids can actually use, manipulate, see for themselves, see the evidence that supports different types of science, and get excited about it. So we send these dig boxes all over the U.S. We've got 2 currently. We're building more, and teachers are sharing these with their colleagues. They're sharing these with parents, and our curriculum is really spreading across the U.S. And the dig is impacting education in some pretty profound ways. Actually, a few school districts in Washington State are implementing our curriculum directly into their classrooms. They're also sharing our curriculum with other schools around the area. We've had teachers, like I said, share the dig box with their colleagues. They've had teachers develop their own curriculum that meets the new types of scientific standards that are required in classrooms. Teachers are writing books. We've actually had a few books published by dig participants about science, about dinosaurs, about teaching. And we've had teachers write plays. We've had teachers do all sorts of things that are getting people excited about the program and getting people excited about science. So if you're interested, we'd love to tell you more. The dig, and we'd love for you to tell people about the program as well. The dig only works if people know we exist. We are looking for teachers. We're looking for people who are interested and can use the program to become better educators. So please tell people about us. Invite any teachers that you know or maybe qualified to apply for our program. If you're just interested in maybe digging up a dinosaur for yourself, visit our table. But you can also come visit us in northeastern Montana. We welcome volunteers. We would love to have you out there and to have you guys be paleontologists for a week or for however long you'd like to stay. If you're just interested in what's going on in the scientific community, if you're interested in fossils, If you're interested in our program, we send out a newsletter. You can subscribe to that through our website, and you can also visit our website for more information. You can email me if you'd like, and learn more about the dig. So with that, I will invite you again to please see our dig instructors. These are actual dig instructors and UW graduate students who are going to teach you about paleontology. They've got real fossils for you to check out, and we've got a little piece of northeastern Montana over there for you to see. So with that, I will thank you again for your time, and life's a garden, dig it. Thank you.